Single accident, a single glance, and a single impossible truth that will rewrite both their destinies. If you want more heart-pounding love mysteries like this, make sure you subscribe to this channel right now, because what you're about to read will leave you breathless. A cold, stormy evening wrapped the entire city in a veil of darkness when Aisha, a poor hard-working girl juggling 2 jobs to pay her sister's hospital bills, rushed through the rain-soaked streets on her old, rattling bicycle, unaware that fate was about to collide her world with someone far beyond her reach. As she turned a sharp corner, lightning flashed across the sky and blinded her momentarily, causing her to skid and crash directly into a sleek black car. The kind she had never touched, let alone imagined damaging, and as she stumbled to the ground, trembling, soaked, and terrified, the car door slowly opened, revealing a tall figure stepping out with an aura so intimidating that Aisha's heart stopped for a beat, for she had unknowingly hit not just any stranger, but Rayyan al-Mirza, the ruthless, enigmatic, and impossibly handsome CEO known throughout the city as the Cold King, a man feared by boardrooms and worshipped by stock markets. She scrambled to apologize, expecting anger, lawsuits, screams, anything but the silent stare he gave her, a stare that cut through the storm like fire. Because in that single moment, the man who never let emotions touch him felt something terrifyingly unfamiliar. An instant, unexplainable pull toward the trembling girl in torn clothes, mud on her cheeks, and pain hidden in her eyes. But as he stepped closer, Aisha panicked and ran, leaving behind her broken bicycle, and Rayyan, for the first time in his life, felt the haunting need to chase someone he didn't know, only to freeze when he spotted a small locket she dropped, an old, scratched pendant with a faded photograph of 2 children inside that stirred a strange unease in his chest, as if he had seen it somewhere before. Unable to resist, Rayyan secretly ordered his team to search for the girl with the locket, though he didn't understand why her terrified face replayed in his mind all night, nor why his heart refused to calm down. And meanwhile Aisha, shaken and drenched, reached the hospital where her younger sister Zara lay unconscious, unaware that danger lurked behind every shadow of their lives. For someone had been watching them for weeks. Someone who didn't want Aisha alive. The next day, fate struck again when Rayyan found her working as a cleaner in his own company, scrubbing floors with trembling knees, praying nobody recognized her from the previous night's accident. But when she looked up and saw him standing over her, she gasped, ready for the worst, only to witness the impossible. The powerful CEO offering her his hand, gently, his cold voice warming as he whispered, "Are you all right?" Confusing her and every employee who secretly watched with wide eyes, because Rayyan had never shown concern for anyone, let alone a girl on the floor. Terrified, she tried to flee again, but he followed, cornering her, not with force but with soft patience, and asked why she had run. Yet Aisha, who had learned to survive by hiding her pain, refused to tell him anything, not even her name. But when he held out the old locket and said, "This belongs to you," her breath broke. Because that pendant held the last photograph of her parents before they disappeared 20 years ago in a mysterious fire everyone called an accident. Though Aisha always believed there was more to the story, Rayyan's eyes flickered when she grabbed it, and something deep inside him cracked open as fragmented childhood memories clawed at his mind, memories he had buried under expensive therapy. Suppressed nightmares, and a forged new identity the media never knew, for Rayyan wasn't born Rayyan al-Mirza. He was once Rihan, a child who escaped the same fire that took Aisha's parents, a truth his adoptive father, the powerful industrialist Zahir Mirza, forced him to forget, because that fire was never an accident. Zahir had caused it, and the surviving children were separated so they would never uncover the truth. Rayyan suddenly felt dizzy with the suspicion that fate was not playing games. Aisha was not a stranger, she was a piece of his past, maybe even the missing key to everything he had ever forgotten. And this realization scared him more than any corporate war ever had. Yet before he could process his spiraling thoughts, a loud crash echoed through the building as a masked intruder tried to attack Aisha, forcing Rayyan to act on instinct as he grabbed her and shielded her with his own body while security tackled the attacker. And in that terrifying moment, Aisha clung to Rayyan, feeling an inexplicable safety she hadn't felt in years, maybe ever. As she trembled in his arms, Rayyan's protective fury ignited, and he demanded answers. Why was someone trying to hurt her? But Aisha, overwhelmed and afraid he would pity her, tried again to pull away, though Rayyan gripped her shoulders gently and insisted, "You're not alone anymore," and for a moment she wanted to believe him. However, the mystery deepened when the attacker was found unconscious with no ID and Ryan's security discovered that someone had deleted hours of CCTV footage around Aisha's neighborhood, revealing that this wasn't a random attack. It was a plan. Desperate to keep her safe, Ryan brought Aisha and Zara to his penthouse, a move that shocked his employees and enraged his adoptive father, Zahir, who warned him to stay away from that girl. But Ryan defied him for the first time in years, sensing danger behind Zahir's unnatural anger. In the luxurious penthouse, Aisha struggled to adjust, feeling like she didn't belong among glass walls and marble floors, but Ryan treated her with a tenderness she had never known, cooking for her, watching over Zara, and staying awake at night to ensure nobody got in, and in those quiet hours, they began sharing fragments of their past. Aisha telling him about her parents, the fire, the disappearance, and Ryan confessing his recurring nightmares of flames, screams, and a little girl crying for her brother. Every piece fit too perfectly, and when Ryan finally dared to unlock the childhood box hidden in Zahir's mansion, he found a burnt photograph of two children in the same locket Aisha carried, confirming the truth. He and Aisha were not strangers. They had once been inseparable childhood friends, torn apart by a tragedy engineered by his own adoptive father. Shattered, Ryan confronted Zahir, who admitted the horrifying truth, that Aisha's parents had discovered illegal experiments and corruption in his factories, so he had burned their home to silence them, never expecting the kids to survive, and when he found young Ryan alive, he adopted him to control the narrative, erasing his memories with harsh conditioning. Consumed with guilt, Ryan returned to Aisha, breaking down for the first time in his adult life, confessing everything, expecting her to hate him, but she stunned him by holding his face and whispering, "You were a victim too," and in that moment, the final wall between them collapsed as they embraced, two shattered souls finding solace in each other. Yet the story didn't end there. The real mastermind, an unknown partner of Zahir, sent a final attack to eliminate the remaining witnesses, leading to a climactic confrontation at Ryan's penthouse where flames once again surrounded Aisha and Ryan, mirroring their childhood trauma, but this time Ryan refused to let history repeat itself, fighting through smoke and fire to drag Aisha and Zara to safety until rescue arrived and the enemy was finally exposed and arrested. As dawn rose over the city, Aisha sat beside Ryan on the rooftop, both exhausted, scarred, and transformed, knowing that the pain of their past had been carved into their souls, but also knowing that their bond, once broken by tragedy, had returned stronger, deeper, and unimaginably powerful. Ryan took her trembling hand and said, "The first moment I saw you, something inside me recognized you, my heart knew what my mind had forgotten," and with tears glistening in her eyes, Aisha whispered, "And fate brought you back," as the sun bathed them in golden light, marking the beginning of a new story, one built not on fear or loss, but on love born from ashes, miracles, and the most unexpected collision of destinies the world had ever written.